Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's time for a match preview for Villa's game against Manchester City, Saturday tea time. First off, the usual apology for our tardiness. I have to come on here and be the one to apologise. It had absolutely nothing to do with me, the fact that we're over an hour late. If you're looking for someone to blame Chris Dolan's potato internet. Absolute disgrace. I think he was getting 16 meg at one point, so we couldn't go live because basically when we were testing it, I couldn't hear him. Also, special shout out to Adam Bates, the producer, as well, for making everything so complicated that every time we come on, we have an absolute nightmare. So yeah, they're the two people to blame. I'm just the face of it. I'll come on and take the flack. Maybe a little bit like Steven Gerrard, maybe, in some respects. I'm joined by Omar to preview the game. But first off, a word from our sponsors, BetMate. When I say a word from them, it's not a word from them. It's a word from me about our sponsors, BetMate. So once again, there's another league open. You can win your share of £1,000. It's a £5 entry, but please gamble responsibly. At the moment, because there's only 13 people in the league, I think you're guaranteed to win some money, whatever you do. So it's worth getting involved in this. You basically pick a 7-a-side team from Villa and Manchester City players. You'll notice there's quite a theme in my side here. But yeah, but if you come first, you could win £250 basically. So it's a bit like fantasy football. You pick your team, you get points for various things. My team is Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, De Bruyne as captain, Gundogan, Haaland and Watkins. You'll notice I had to put a Villa player in because you're only allowed a maximum of 6 from each team. I went for Watkins purely because he scored against Manchester City last season in what was actually a good performance from Villa. And then my bench is filled full of Villa players who hopefully don't have to come on, because I have not got high hopes for the game at all. So yeah, that's my team. Pick your team. See if you can beat me. See if you can win yourself some money. But as ever, please gamble responsibly. Turn my phone off now, and Omar should potentially return on the screen with me. There he is, Omar. Late call up to fill in for Dolan. You after he failed a fitness test. You okay?
Yeah, mate. Deadline day signing.
Internet fitness test. Dolan did not pass your internet.
I did tell him not to use the AOL free trial CD he got in the post.
Mate, honestly, it's not even that good. You joke. It's not that good. AOL free trial would be a step up from what he has at the moment. We're talking things that need to improve. Aston Villa Football Club. Have you got zero hope for this game like me, Omar? I think this may be the first time I've ever come on with absolutely. I literally have zero hope tomorrow. If I'd have been doing the Villa View of the year, we got relegated. Obviously, there was a lot of games there that were zero hope. This is the first time in a long time that I've just got no hope whatsoever. Omar's gone, of course. Excellent stuff. What a day we're having here on the Villa View. If anyone wants to fire any questions my way whilst I'm sat on my own, because Omar's internet has now decided that it's not going to work. So I'll pad and fill out some time by just talking about Villa basically on my own, unless anyone wants to fire a question over. Not sure how many people are in the chat at the moment, but if you are, please fire something over and it'll appear up on the screen. Help if I can actually see the screen as well. But yeah, I've not got high hopes for this game at all currently because Villa are in rank form and Manchester City are in very, very good form. My hope is that Haaland does not start because Pep has talked about resting him in recent weeks. And at the moment, he hasn't rested him yet. So you'd hope in this game that it might be one with the Champions League coming up midweek. Of course, though, if you rest Haaland, they've got another new striker called Alvarez, who's had a pretty good start to the season as well. Looked very dangerous against Forest the other night. So he will potentially come in. And there he is. There's Omar back, absolutely stitching me. God knows what happened. I'm going to fill time on my own. I started, Omar, by talking about my hope that Haaland may get rested because he hasn't been rested yet. And Pep talked about him not being able to play games. Although actually his press conference today, he kind of contradicted that a little bit. So I'm fully expecting him to play. But if Haaland does play, he scored 2 hat-tricks in the last 2 games. There's every chance he could score 2 hat-tricks in this game alone.
Yeah. I really get annoyed with Pep Guardiola. Any team he talks about, it's always like, it's so difficult, amazing team.
Good impression.
Is that right?
Yeah, I thought it was a decent impression, to be honest.
Yeah, you cannot believe. It's always like...
That's the best thing that's been on the Villa View, probably ever.
Yeah, I'll leave now.
Yeah.
No, just, it's always like, in Villa, he's like, the players are amazing. It's like, no, we're crap, mate. We're awful. Like, just say how it is,
we did go 2-0 up against them at their place last season and nearly enabled them not to win the league.
I know. But we're not in good form, are we? So it's not the same team, I don't think. But yeah, I think he might rest him, to be honest. I was thinking about triple captaining Haaland as well, but then I had another look at it. And yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. But you've got to go, as a fan, you've just got to go in with a bit of hope. Even if it's 1% hope, you've got to go in with a bit of hope. You just
I'm
never
struggling
know.
to muster that, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
I was
think
looking.
just from watching him on TV, I'm actually, as a football fan, looking forward to seeing him in the flesh live tomorrow.
The issue
But it's
we've
a
got
scary
is
prospect. He's a
it
scary
is a,
prospect against
it
us
is
at
a
the
scary
moment.
prospect. Yeah, yeah. It's not just Haaland; it's everything really, isn't it? Even if Haaland wasn't playing, you still don't fancy
I
us.
don't think I'll be as worried.
But I think Newcastle did well against them, and they
Mm.
exploited them a little bit in the wide areas. But the issue is we don't have anyone in the wide areas, so from that perspective, so it's going to be difficult. They're going to play the usual way. The fullbacks will tuck in. They'll use the width from Foden or Mahrez or whoever plays in the wide areas, and then build play from there. And
Yeah.
we've just got to be, what we didn't do well, especially our first goal against Arsenal, was track our runners. With Man City, they're so fluid. We've got to be a bit versatile and make sure that we're tracking our runners. We're doing our individual jobs, and then hopefully you try and keep the score down and then try and nick one. It's as simple as that, really, isn't it?
These are the bits we aren't doing though at the moment. It's
Yeah,
those little touches, those little things in defence. I mean, there's a lot of things we're not doing well. That's one of the things we're not doing well. And if you don't do those kind of things well against Manchester City, you will get pulverised.
yeah. And the other thing as well, we can't play that formation again.
But we will, I
Because
suspect.
But yeah, I mean, like I've just explained, they use their wide players to build up play, and we'll get murdered. So I really want us to play double pivot. I really want us to play 4-2-3-1. I think that's probably our only way where we can keep the score down and give ourselves a sort of a chance. Whether Dendoncker plays or not, obviously he's got a sore throat. Maybe get the strepsils in, and hopefully he's playing. He's fine. But whether Douglas Luiz plays, whether he's in the right frame of mind to play. He's not going to drop McGinn, is he? So again, going back, I feel like we're talking about the same things over and over again.
We have done 3 shows in 24 hours, so there's a chance of some repetition here.
It feels like, honestly, it feels like we've been like a telethon or something. But,
this has been the longest week of my life talking about Villa, honestly.
Yeah.
I must have done 6 or 7 things where I've had to talk about Villa, and each time I've lost a little bit more of myself inside.
Yeah, and it'd be all right if it was positive, if it was a new manager or a new record signing or something, but it's having to talk about the problems, which is the issue. And mentally, it's hard. So you can imagine what it's like for the players as well, and for the manager. But I think with you've put yourself in a really tough position with McGinn captain, because you need to be playing 4-2-3-1 regardless of the opposition. If you play 4-2-3-1, where do you play McGinn? Do you play him as a number 10, where he plays for Scotland? But he's not going to be playing the Faroe Islands every week. And also, you've got 2 number 10s in Bundy and Coutinho that you've paid a lot of money for. Where are they going to play?
Arguably, Ramsey could play as a 10 as well.
Yeah, I personally would be.
I think Ramsey at the moment would be better in the front 3, actually. I've got
Yeah,
to say.
I
I think he's
so.
picking the ball up too deep when he has the ball. I think if he's picking up the ball in better areas, his driving runs will work better, if that makes sense, because he'll be further forward to begin with. And I know that's a very simplistic way of looking at it and describing it, but he had some good games playing as a 10 last season, as one of those narrow 10s, I thought.
Yeah, I think he can play though. I think he can play from the. My son getting told off. I think he can play from the. I think he likes that inside left position. He's got pace. He's got strength.
Yeah, I think he'd be good there.
His end product, yeah, I mean, it's improved. Obviously, he scored quite a few goals last season, well, more than probably we expected him to. And in terms of his creativity, I think that probably could be better. But I wouldn't mind seeing him play there. And I think we've talked about it before. Ramsey and McGinn are too similar to play in midfield, and you lose an element of control in midfield if they play, because they're not going to recycle the ball. They're not going to keep the ball well. As soon as McGinn gets the ball, he's on his left foot. He's looking for a forward pass, which is fine, which is good. You want that forward pass, but not always. Sometimes you got to try and go a different way, and you don't always need a Hollywood pass or a difficult ball to go over the top and find Ollie Watkins. And I felt sorry for Ollie Watkins against Arsenal. I thought he did really well.
Yeah, I agree.
I do feel for him. I think he's obviously flourished with Jack Grealish in the side, creating for him, but in this team, just no one's creating chances. Even last season, people were, he missed chances, but we didn't actually create that much for him. And if you look at his XG and look at how many goals he should have scored, he wasn't far off. So I think it's going to be another difficult afternoon chasing lost causes for him. Where I think Leon Bailey was a pretty bright spark in the second half.
Bailey probably has to play against a team like Manchester City. If you're going to have any joy, it's probably going to be.
Would you play Buendia and Coutinho, or would you play one or the other? Who would you play?
just for the sake of now, just having a bit of continuity, probably Buendia. But then this is the thing. Buendia's then playing from the left, which he's never really done in his career. He's never really had any success playing in that position. He's better playing on the right as a narrow 10. But then Bailey's obviously more effective on the right as well, cutting in. So you've got Coutinho, he's more effective as a left number 10, but you're playing against Manchester City, so you think you'd rather have Buendia's work rate. Can't see us going 2 up top. That's where I don't think we'll go 4-2-3-1. So if we're going to play 4-3-3, I'd probably play Ramsey on the left in a game like this. Probably play Ramsey and Bailey off Watkins. Yeah. And then have Luiz, McGinn, Kamara.
Yeah, I think that's
probably what I'd do.
It's a pretty good shout, I think.
That absolutely will not happen. We can all pick the teams that we think it should be, but it won't be that team. It won't be that team, will it? You there, Omar?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It won't be that team, though.
Yeah, and I think Luiz, he plays. He's played well against Man City. We talked last night, didn't we, about Luiz's performances against Man City. Whether his head's in the right space is another matter, but he's a professional at the end of the day. And I imagine a lot of
he just wants to play football.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of the talk around his transfer would have been instigated by his agent as well.
Yeah,
so,
but he'll have wanted to go, and at the moment I can't really blame him because he's not first choice at Villa. He'll probably actually go to Arsenal and play more games than he'll play at Villa, which seems ridiculous, but it's probably the case, isn't it?
Yeah. And
I can see why he'd be unhappy.
Yeah, of course. From his perspective, but he's got a year left. He's going to have his pick of clubs next season as well if he does decide to go on a free. And he's got a good contract offer there on the table if he wants to, play. So from player's perspective, he's got, it's probably he has to wait a year if he wants his move. But he's been on good money. He's going to be playing in the Premier League. Whether he plays week in week out, I guess we'll see. But he's not in a bad position. And I suppose from his perspective as well, does he sign the contract or not? There's always a risk. I don't think he will, but there's always a risk. In terms of financial security. I know you have career-ending insurance and things like that, but still, having a long, big contract in place. Imagine he's 6 months down the line, he signs he's going to sign a contract for a club and he gets injured, long-term injury, and it, ruins him or whatever, and he's screwed. So from that perspective, it's good to have a bit of insurance and have that new contract, maybe with a release clause or something like that. The other
release clause.
Yeah, we love a release clause. The other potential change, obviously, is Bednarek coming in for Konza.
Do you think he will come straight in? There's a good article on The Athletic this morning about Bednarek, but it was more from a Southampton perspective, and the general consensus in the comments and that article was that he's a player that just needs a change of scenery. There's a good player there. Apparently, he's really self-critical, really evaluates his own game. But apparently, he basically just needed a change of scenery, and that's what he's got now.
Yeah, I would play him. Definitely, I think Konza is another disaster class from him on against Arsenal, and I think he needs to spell out the side.
Yeah, I think he needs to taken out for his own good. I've said that many a time.
Sort his head out. If Bednarek doesn't play, then I'll play Chambers. I just wouldn't play Konza against Man City. And I think Chambers did fairly well against Man City, didn't he?
Chambers doesn't really put a foot wrong. If I'm Chambers and Bednarek comes straight in, I'm thinking, well, what have I not been playing?
Yeah.
If I'm Chambers.
Yeah, and he was the better of the two against West Ham as well, and he's the one that got taken out. But I don't know. But I'd definitely be changing the centre back partnership. But then that's not what was our 6th change or 5th change, and
we haven't played that. We haven't played the same centre back pairing. We haven't played the same front three 2 games running. The only bit that consistently stays the same is the midfield three. It's weird, and that's the bit that the Villa fans are most upset about. Is that midfield?
This is when you're losing, isn't it? That's the problem. And Gerrard second guessing himself. He's probably listening to other people. I think he just needs to. Decide what he wants to do.
He looks beaten to me.
He does. He really does.
He looks like he knows.
I don't see where he's coming back from this. I don't see even. I don't think he'll get sacked off Man City game regardless, unless we get back to 10-0. But I don't see where he comes back from this, because even Leicester Southampton, are we going to get 6 points out of 6 there?
I think if we don't get 4, he'll be in big trouble.
Yeah, and I think Leicester, I know they're struggling as well. And Brendan Rodgers come out saying, our target is 40 points, which I don't think Leicester fans will be too happy about.
I mean, Brendan Rodgers is trying to go the Scott Parker route currently.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to work. I mean, you look at Leicester's squad. I get it. he wanted a bit more backing, but they've sold players well. They've spent money. They've still got a good squad. They've still got good players. It's not like they've got a bad squad.
I think they go down as it stands, Leicester.
Yeah, I hope so. Because it means one spot's taken up.
We might be there with them, but at the moment, I think Leicester's squad, they're weaker than they were last season. They've lost Schmeichel, they've lost Fofana. That's the bit. I'm not even. Obviously, this is a free hit again against Manchester City. No one will, even the most optimistic Villa fan, won't expect a point from this game. It's that game after is huge for Villa and it's huge for Gerrard. They have to go and beat Leicester after this, whatever happens really, because they just can't keep going on the way they are. And Gerrard probably got one eye on it in a lot of ways. But to give Gerrard his due, this last season against Manchester City at home, Villa gave them as good a game. In fact, you could argue in both games against Manchester City, Villa gave them as good a go as any team would have done across 2 games.
Yeah, definitely.
It's largely the same group of players here now.
Yeah.
So, give him credit. I thought when he first came in, I thought Man City was his 3rd or 4th game. I thought we were brilliant in that game. We had a good tactical plan and it worked. I know we didn't win, but actually the game plan was good. Maybe
second half we did dominate really. I thought
Chukwuemeka should have scored probably.
Yeah.
Douglas Luiz put in a great performance in midfield as I talked about last night on our transfer show. We were really good that day or that night. Maybe you just never know, do you? But I'm not allowing myself to get excited. Don't be silly.
Well, I was saying this to one of my mates who's Chad, who comes on our pod quite a lot. He's Mr. If you think you're positive, he's Mr. Ultra positive.
Is he? He's worse than me. He's toxic positivity like me.
Toxic, yeah. He's really, really toxic positive. Yeah,
that's what someone said to me on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. Toxic positivity.
People just. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with being positive, whether you agree with it or not. But anyway, he's ultra positive. Even I would say he's probably Gerrard out at the moment. But I was speaking to him and I just said, there's no one's been successful as an individual or as a team without facing some adversity. You got to go through that rough patch. Be down in the dumps and then build yourself back up again. There's not many teams. We've been lucky to some extent because I think since the new owners came in, we've every year has been sort of progression, and we've had good times, we've had good signings, and
there's been some mire in there as well, even under the new.
Yeah, I know, but
before we went on that 10-game run in the Championship, it was looking bleak.
It was looking bleak, but you don't look at things short term. You look at sort of longer term pattern. I'm thinking about here, sort of the trajectory of the club. So I suppose it's about time where we faced a bit of adversity, and then I suppose me thinking optimistically, do we learn from this? Does Gerrard learn from this? Do the team learn from this and fight for the manager? I think we'll see over the next few games. They did fight against Arsenal, but the quality wasn't there. But I also think they were let down by the formation. So it's all well and good fighting for the manager, but if you're not set up in the right way, then in Premier League level, you're going to get picked off. So I think this is obviously it's make or break, as everyone knows. These next 3 games, it's whether if they perform well, win games, then they want to fight for the manager. They want the manager to stay. If it's what we've seen before, players trudging off without clapping, Gerrard trudging off without clapping the fans and things like that, which just makes things a lot worse. And I think it's sort of a matter of days, not weeks or months. I think it's going to happen. So yeah,
some of the sound bites from him aren't great. The interview after the Arsenal game where he basically said, didn't he, he's worried for his job at the moment. I respect him for saying that and not trying to bat it off.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, you can't win when you're saying something like that, because also it's not really something I want to hear, because I feel like he's a beaten man already. But he can't win in that, because if he'd have come out and said no, like he says, everyone would have said he was deluded. So there's not much he can do right in that situation when he's asked that question. Go on then, give me a score prediction. I've done a few score predictions down on like Premier League podcasts rather than Villa specific ones, and everyone else has done theirs. And I can tell you, I don't think anyone even predicted. Oh no, actually, at 1-5 there was a 5-2 in there, but not from me. So one person predicted Villa to score 2 goals in this game.
I'm going to say 4-0 Man City.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've gone for. 4-0.
Yeah. That's me being optimistic, I think.
Yeah, I'm laughing. It's not funny, but I literally don't see they take teams apart, or they can take teams apart, and have they kept a clean sheet this season? Because again, that feels like something they might grab on. I'm
not sure if they have, but they've.
They did the other night against Forest.
They did, 6-0, wasn't it? They on paper, this team should give Man City a game. On paper, There's players there in that team that can give Man City a game, as we've seen before.
Yeah.
Whether that it results in a win or a draw, whatever, I don't know. But there's enough quality in that team to give Man City a tough afternoon or early evening. Whether that happens or not, I guess we'll see. But it's just the form, the mentality, the confidence, just the mental side of it. It's just not there at the moment. And how I don't know how you can, as a manager, as a professional football player, after what we've been through over the last few weeks. From the preseason highs where we're thinking, this is a really solid preseason, we've got the players that we needed, in the matter of weeks to be in this position. I think that's from a mental perspective, it's so difficult to come back from. You've got to be really, really strong. I don't think I could do it. Whether these guys can do it, I think it's a real test of their character. Really, really, it's not like you're playing a mid-table team. You're playing Man City, the best team in the world. They can pick you apart. Imagine going into that game after these last few weeks. What you must be going through in your head. You've got to be really strong mentally, I think, to get anything out of that game. So yeah, that's why I just can't see anything but a loss and a serious loss of that.
It's seriously not a great time to be playing them for us at all. If there's ever a good one, I'm not sure, but it definitely isn't a good time for Villa to be taking on the team that I think is absolutely going to smash the league this season. But thank you very much, Omar. I don't know about, I feel tired myself, so God knows how the players and the manager must be feeling. Villa have beaten the enthusiasm out of me in recent weeks. But thank you to everyone for tuning in. Obviously, we've done 3 shows in the last 24 hours. If you want to go back and check the other 2 shows out, you probably wouldn't want to see the Arsenal match review back, but maybe the transfer show that we did in the last hour of the window last night did provide some laughs and some jokes.
Enjoy that.
I would say, I enjoyed doing that with you, so do go back and check that out if you haven't done so already. Thanks to our sponsors, BetMate. Don't forget to join the league. All the instructions will be in the description underneath this video, and if you missed it, go back and look at my team at the start. Basically a Manchester City 7-a-side team with Ollie Watkins in there is basically what I've done this week. So yeah, but thanks for all the support. Please subscribe to the channel with your post notifications on if you haven't done so already. See you at Villa Park tomorrow. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.